Yashoda Nandana Rai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitya Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gora Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today I will be speaking about Lord Chaitanya's South Indian tour. Just one moment, please. A bit of a technical problem.
You want me to help you, Aditya? Okay.
I mean, it isn't. No. It's not moving.
That's not.
No, this isn't frozen. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about Lord Chaitanya's South Indian tour. Who here has been to South India? By a show of hands. Awesome. Who here is from Bengal or has been to Bengal?
From Bengal.
Okay, so there's slightly more people here from Bengal than have been to South India. Bengal. Yes, Bengal. So we all know Lord Chaitanya came from Bengal, right? And do we all know that he then went on an extensive tour of South India just shortly after he took sannyas? So So we're going to be sharing just some of those places, some of the significant places, and some of the places which I've had the mercy to travel to myself just recently. Okay. We actually rehearsed this earlier and it was very smooth. Now it's like a little challenging. Okay. But it's not meant to show it like that. It's meant to show it in a... It keeps freezing. Maybe we need to do it by a wired connection. So, I will begin by just... So we know that when Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, he went to Jagannath Puri. Then after that, what do all sannyasis want to do? Or what should they be doing? Yes, they need to travel and preach. So that's what Lord Chaitanya immediately wanted to do. Of course, he did give the excuse, I will go and find my brother. But really, he had the urge to go and preach and to spread the glories of Krishna to the whole of India. Let's see what happens here. So on his travels, he met so many different people. And we read in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many times he bumped into atheists, unfavorable people, or people who were practicing a different religion. Because at that time, this Dvaita school, this dualistic philosophy, it wasn't the most prevalent thing in India. Many people were practicing this impersonal school of thought. So when Lord Chaitanya went there, so many times we see examples where he was able to talk very peacefully to so many different people from different walks of life. And he simply taught them to chant the holy names of Krishna. He actually was teaching them just Hari Hari. And in this way, our movement spread in its early days throughout the whole of the Indian subcontinent. Even today, when we go to visit these places, we can actually see the effects that it had because, and I'll reveal to you later, in different parts, even in South India, people are chanting the names of the Lord, which are typically from the north of India. And the chanting of the holy name has now become so popular that it's now a craze called bhajan clubbing, which some people are really into. This started in, I believe it started in Mumbai, and now it's spreading throughout the whole world. So this is just such an amazing thing to understand that this is really, we are in this golden age. We just need to find a way to participate within it. Yay! Okay, this is, yes, okay, we're on. Okay, let's go. So, we can understand that there are lots of prominent sites that Lord Chaitanya went to visit. And, most importantly, what did he rediscover? Does anyone remember? What did he rediscover in South India? Just shout it out. The Brahma Samhita. And anyone who's been here, if you haven't done it yet, you have to do it soon. Please come for the morning here. At 7:30, we sing a verse from the Brahma Samhita, which was famously recorded by Yamuna Devi back in the early days. And it's such a beautiful rendition, and it's such a nice way to begin your day. So we're singing that every morning, and actually from that, just that one verse, you can actually distill the essence of the whole of Bhakti Yoga. We can understand so much from just that. We can understand who is Krishna, what does he look like, and who does he associate with. Mahaprabhu also visited Udupi. Has anyone here been to Udupi to see the beautiful Udupi Krishna? The deity of Krishna, he's holding I think it's a butter stick. Some of you are nodding slightly. Very nice place. He went there, and I'm going to talk about that some as well. And he actually became so touched by the devotion there that our lineage and their lineage became intrinsically and eternally linked. Lord Chaitanya, why did Lord Chaitanya come into being? He came into being just so that Krishna could understand more about the love of Srimati Radharani. And in so doing, what happened? In so doing, what happened? What did his mission end up becoming as Lord Chaitanya? With the help of his brother, Lord Nityananda, it became to save the most fallen and to spread Krishna consciousness far and wide. So what's happening right now in Vrindavan and across the whole of India? Lots of colorful things happening. Holi, yes. So in Vrindavan, Holi has gone, it started off just being a few days, and now it spans maybe 3 whole weeks. It begins as early as possible. Even when I've been back for 2 weeks. Holi was happening when I was still there. Holi was happening a week before I left. So Holi's going on for like a month now, actually. And it will culminate on Tuesday, which is the main day where everything gets completely covered in an inch of pink powder. If anyone's ever been there, it's absolutely wonderful. It's a very nice practice to have with family and friends. If you choose to do it with people you don't know, that's very interesting. Very interesting experience. And if you're in Vrindavan and that's happening, then it can be very fun, but I advise you wear some kind of sunglasses or something. So this festival is the most colorful festival we have. And it is a day where obviously bright colors in powders and bright colors of water are playfully thrown upon our friends and relatives, or, joyfully just touched lovingly on your cheek, or smashed right in your face. It depends on the nature of your relationship and the different mellows which you share with those persons. So in essence, it's a festival of unconditional love, characterized by these wonderful, bright colors. And when I first experienced this festival, one of my mentors, she said, because I looked a little confused. I was in Scotland, and it was a bit confusing in Scotland. It's very out of place, but it was very beautiful. And they told me that this is actually straight from the spiritual world. And how can we understand that? How is this festival from the spiritual world? Because of all the bright colors and it's just so wow, yeah, that's there. But it's more about how in the spiritual world, the rasa, or the deep mellows of relationship, they rule supreme over material and capitalistic acquisition or competition. So, why did Lord Chaitanya go on a tour to South India? Any idea? I gave it away in the first bit, where I was just chatting because my slideshow wasn't working. Yes, Radha. Yes, to preach. Essentially, that's what he did, because after he took sannyas, he decided to travel for a month to preach and to search for his elder brother. But really, he wanted to preach. So he took permission from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and Lord Jagannath received a garland from Lord Jagannath. The garland fell, and he took that as a sign that he had permission to leave the Lordship's side and darshan and go and set out and preach the great glories in ecstasy of kirtan. So he traveled and preached. And how did he travel? When we travel in India, how do we normally travel? Do we walk? We go by rickshaw. We fly. Yes. Well, Lord Chaitanya, of course, went by foot. And most likely it was by barefoot. And he traveled And he would stay in temples along the way, very simply. Just like you see sometimes, if any of us have been fortunate to go to perhaps Himalayas or to go to a big gathering like Kumbh Mela, we see there are sadhus that come and they actually walk. They take their time. They don't have anything else happening really, I guess. So they're walking from place to place. And sometimes they do it in groups. So in this way, Mahaprabhu was traveling. He was just accompanied by one servant of his. And everywhere he went, what did he do? Yes, it's written here. Yes, he chanted Hari Hari. And so in this way he had all kinds of levels of kirtan going on, and they would get really big. So in this way he got whole villages, whole regions to chant the chanting congregationally. So, as we're talking about Lord Chaitanya, and we're talking about South India, does anyone know the name of our specific lineage? Yes. Very good. The Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. Thank you. So, this Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya is, of course, our Vaishnava disciplic succession, which originates from Brahma and is passed through Madhvacharya and is centered on the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So, I did mention Udupi. We're now going to go to Udupi and see more about what happens there, because that is where Madhvacharya used to be and based himself, and that is where Lord Chaitanya went and got a lot of inspiration and understanding. And of course, what did Lord Chaitanya do when he went there? What does Lord Chaitanya love to do when he meets people? Spread the Supreme Bhakti, but also have a good spiritual debate. Yes, so that's what he did there when he met the scholars of Madhvacharya. So, who here likes the beach? Yeah, the beach is really nice, and the beach in South India is really, really nice. So, this is a very nice place to go on pilgrimage, because we have Jagannath Puri, but we also have Udupi, and this is another place we can go on pilgrimage and actually experience a nice beach. And interestingly enough, I'll tell you the story of how Krishna came to appear on this beach. So, when Lord Chaitanya went to this place in Udupi, he took the darshan of this very beautiful deity who's only actually this big. He's very small and very cute. And he has a very wonderful lineage, which I'll speak about just shortly. Immediately, Lord Chaitanya could recognize there was so much devotion here. And he then went to speak to those followers and have a debate about them. Have a debate with them about what their philosophy was and how it's where its roots were based. He understood that and appreciated that they were refuting impersonalism. And at this time, as we know, this was quite a rare thing in India. So he was very happy about this. However, he wasn't completely satisfied. And that is when he pointed out, you're missing something. You don't want to talk about the Supreme, the Madhurya Rasa. So that is when Lord Chaitanya established that Prema Bhakti is the ultimate goal of the Vedas. So even so, this obviously showed that Lord Chaitanya had great respect for everybody that he met and had so much appreciation from the Madhva Sampradaya. But he refined it so that it was literally, our lineage is more based upon pure bhakti centered on Krishna. So let's talk a little bit about Madhvacharya and then understand a little bit more about this very special Krishna, Udupi Krishna. So Madhvacharya founded the Dvaita Vedanta philosophy. Does everyone know what that means? So there are two main schools of thought. We tend to call them like, it's impersonalism and Mayavadi or Brahmavadi, and then there's personalism or Vaishnavism. So this dualistic way of thought is basically Vaishnavism, understanding that we are part and parcel of God, but that we are not the one with Him, like that. So he actually established this famous Udupi Sri Krishna Mat in present-day Karnataka and founded the 8 Ashtamats. So there they have a really nice way of managing their system. It's called the Parayaya, and we'll see what that looks like. So here, they're celebrating the changeover. It happens every 2 years. So this is Udupi Krishna. And every Saturday night, they have a big procession. Every day, anyway, every Saturday, even without the Parayaya. So this is the mutt that will be taking over the control, the management of the temple for the next 2 years. The previous mutt installed this, which is a constant, like a version of it's not really a 24-hour kirtan, but it's a kirtan that goes on and on for many hours, and all the different women involved in the city come in different groups and they take over this kirtan. So this Udupi Krishna, he is actually wearing pure gold armor as well. And you can view him through there, but you can also, of course, go inside the temple itself and see him. As part of the temple in the morning there, as part of the worship, they even present a mother cow and baby cow to the Krishna deity there to show the milking. So you can see they also have the Rath carts, and this street is called Car Street. And every Saturday they do processions. The devotees here are extraordinarily nice, and Srila Prabhupada went to visit them back in the early days when they were starting to build the first temple in Hyderabad. There, the leader was very wonderful, and he actually said, I'll turn this down a touch. I cannot. It's not controlled by this. They have very beautiful cows and a goshala. So when the leader actually met Srila Prabhupada, he said, what you have done is so amazing. None of us could ever do this, because you have gone to the West and you have preached Krishna consciousness. So what they have there is they actually, they're worshipping in the mood of Dwaka Lila, and they keep their sannyasis very away from people. So they were amazed how Srila Prabhupada was able to go to the West and not become dragged down by all this. And how was he able to do that? It must be by none other than the mercy of his Gurudev, and of course that of Lord Chaitanya. So, who is Madhvacharya? Has anyone heard of Madhvacharya before? 1, 2. A few of us know. Maybe 2 in 1. Yeah. So, Madhvacharya, he actually discovered this Murti, this deity of Krishna, that's having so much worship there, who's covered now in gold. He actually discovered him inside a lump of gopi chandan. Isn't that incredible? And this gopi chandan actually came from Dwarka. So, how did this come about? Well, like I told you, Udupi is on the coastline. And Madhvacharya, one day, he was drawn to meditate on the beach. And he was meditating and he was seeing that there was a ship coming in. However, he knew this ship is going to be in trouble because there's a barrier reef there. So by the power of prayer, he was able to help that ship come in and avoid the reef and avoid it getting stranded. The captain was so grateful. He said, "You can have anything you want from my ship. You can have anything." And Madhvacharya was thinking, "I don't really need anything. I'm a renunciate. There's nothing I need." But the ship was full of gold, spices, riches, silks. And then Madhvacharya was drawn to say, "I would like the ballast from your boat." So anyone that knows anything about a boat, you know it has to have a heavy lump of something on the rear so that it works properly, so that it can move through the water effectively. So confused, the captain gave this to him, didn't know why he wants it, and then Madhvacharya cracked it open, and lo and behold, he finds this beautiful deity of Krishna. Not just that, he actually also finds Balaram there. And the deity of Balaram, not so many people visit that deity, is actually there. There's a little temple on the beach you can visit. So it's very nice. It's actually understood that this particular form, this particular deity of Krishna was worshipped by Rukmini. So this is how the tradition carries on in Udupi, where they worship in the mood of Dwarka Lila. So we can understand that this is, Lord Chaitanya was not just drawn to visit this place and to celebrate in this place and to talk to the different students there because of because they were practicing this Dvaita philosophy, but also because it was the closest thing. They're celebrating and worshipping the love of the queens of Dwarka for Krishna. So next we will go to Hampi. Hampi is a place which is normally associated with Lord Hanuman. It lies northeast of Udupi, and it was once absolutely incredible, an amazing, a huge city, a city which sometimes is quoted as being the capital of the whole world. At the time that Lord Chaitanya visited, it was actually, it was actually at the height of its prowess as a flourishing city. And something significant to remember is that I know some of us are practicing for the drama. We're going to be doing Ramayana soon at the end of the month. Isn't that right? Yes, very good. And this city of Hampi is actually understood to be Kishkinda from the Ramayana. So this is a place with many pastime Leela places of Lord Ram. And so, of course, Lord Chaitanya, when he went there, he became completely immersed in the divine pastimes, and it was a deeply emotional experience for him. So let's watch a little bit about this. So here you can see this is the Virupaksha temple. This is a temple of Lord Shiva, and it is a place that we understand Lord Chaitanya went to. He went to many places in South India, and he always respected the demigods and paid worship at the shrines. This elephant is actually very friendly and funny. You see, she doesn't have any chains, and she eats pakoras. So you can see that Hampi now is a completely, it's a ruin. It's nothing of its former glory. It's very large, and it's actually quite challenging to understand that once it was a very bustling city. There was a lot of trade that happened there, and that was the time when Lord Chaitanya would have been there. As you can see, they were all once market places. People were coming and trading all kinds of things, minerals, fabrics, silks, spices, from all over the world. And because they were coming there were also many, many temples, many, many shrines that people would go to visit. And the architecture is just stunning. So this is the river. This is Tungabhadra River. And this river, Lord Chaitanya, we would walk along chanting and bathe in this river. And just nearby, there is a pastime place of Lord Ram. Very peaceful place. And far in the distance is the Anjaneya Hill, which is where Lord Hanuman was born, which we will visit shortly. The scale of this is very, I don't know if it quite shows your understanding. So here is this place. So this is the Kodanda Rama Temple. So this is, as you can see, if I just go, I'm not sure how to go back, but you just saw quickly that the deities there are actually carved into a boulder. And it is the place where Lord Ram crowned Sugriva. So there are still monkeys there today. It is very beautiful. So when Lord Chaitanya visited, like I said, it coincided with the golden age of this Vijayanagara Empire. Because there's actually a famous temple there. I don't know if anyone has seen pictures. There is a temple there where the chariot is a chariot carved of stone, and the wheels used to actually move. So that was actually in its expansion whilst Lord Chaitanya there. So things were very much flourishing. And of course, Vitala temple, that's a Lord Vishnu temple. So again, you can see the Virupaksha temple in the background. And I'm going on a pilgrimage now across all these rocks to go to the Anjaneya Hill. In South India, many of the ancient temples are on top of hills, so it's quite nice, the pilgrimage. So you can see the vastness. Hampi was a fully irrigated city. So there's actually a few places which say that they're the birthplace of Lord Hanuman, but I believe that this is the genuine one, because this is the city that's in Ramayana. So this is on top of another hill, the hill of Sage Matanga. So interestingly, the king of this city and the king of Odisha, King Pataparuda, were actually rivals, and it was around this same time that Lord Chaitanya was there. And of course, as some of you may know, so this is the Virupaksha temple with the Shiva lingam inside, and this place actually, they still worship the Shiva lingam, but it's very much in a state of ruins. There is no other worship going on here, because what happened is the last king made foolish decisions, became too proud, and he lost everything. So he thought his city was very solid, which it is, it's still there today, but there's nothing happening. So yes, so interestingly, King Patraparuda and the king here, Krishna Deva Raya, they were rivals. But as some of you may know, King Patraparuda became a dedicated disciple of Lord Chaitanya. So it's interesting to understand that this was all happening around the same era, the same time. So many people like to go here and make reels and stuff in the ruins. There's just so many shrines here. The rock is incredibly solid. It's the hard granite. It must have taken many generations to get this going, and then it was just gone in a couple of years. So it would have once been an incredibly bustling place. And absolutely wonderful to understand that Lord Ram, was actually here. The modern day historians, it's hard for them to fully, when you go there, you'll see just how ancient it is. And we can understand that perhaps there were elements that were definitely there when Lord Ram was there. Maybe, I'm not sure. So, Lord Chaitanya toured so many different temples. Of course, he went to Ahobilam, the place of Lord Narasimha. And he went to Tirupati, which is where we're going to go next. He met so many different followers whilst he was there. And he always had discussions with them about Vaishnavism and engaged them in scriptural discussion, always preaching to them the glories of Bhakti Yoga. They even have a very large Narasimha deity there, the temple of which has since disappeared, but you still see the Lord Narasimha. And this last part, this is a very ancient temple of Lord Ram. Which has very intricate carvings and is very beautiful. This temple of Lord Ram, it is said that it once had, in the main mandap, there is Lord Ram, and then to the right side, there is a temple for Sita Devi, which is so nice. Yeah. So does anyone remember, what did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rediscover when he was on his South Indian tour? What did Lord Chaitanya rediscover when he was on his South Indian tour? Brahma Samhita, yes. We were very much paying attention in the beginning. Thank you. So, and we can understand that that's a really, really important part of our lineage and our foundation understanding. Because not only do we remind ourselves of his glories every morning, the Brahma Samhita filled Lord Chaitanya with so much ecstasy and joy because it's telling us this is who Krishna is. It's undeniable. Not just that, it tells you about the cows, about the gopis, about the land of Goloka Vrindavan. So this is the Sita temple right here. So, he found the Brahma Samhita in present-day Tamil Nadu. And specifically, what did he find? It was actually the 5th chapter. That's the only chapter which is around that's been found. And Lord Chaitanya was able to find it. We understand this to be one of the most perfect scriptures in all existence. Because here we get the ultimate definition of the supreme personality of Godhead. And it just really establishes that who is Krishna? That Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. He is the original source. He's not just an avatar. We learn this in the Brahma Samhita. That's how intrinsic this script is. And why when Lord Chaitanya found it, he was just completely in ecstasy. He just couldn't believe he's found this script. Very important moment. So it actually also explains the Achinta Veda Veda Tattva, the inconceivable one and difference. I'm not going to try and explain that specifically today. I believe that's a whole class. But basically it describes how Krishna is simultaneously immanent and transcendent. So then he went on his travels and went to Tirupati. I haven't put this in order, as you might have guessed. But it was shortly after that he went to Tirupati, after finding the Brahma Samhita. So it's in Tirupati that we see what we now know as Lord Venkateshwar, named after the hills there. So he visited Lord Ram temple there as well. And actually it's there because what it used to be set up like is you would visit Lord Balaji and then immediately afterwards you go and see Lord Ramachandra. Now when you go, the setup is slightly different, but traditionally that was the way. I was very fortunate when I went there. I bumped into a friend of mine who took me to every single place. We started at the crack of dawn, and I'll show you just a short clip here. And we walked. This is 2,800 steps up the hill. So when you're walking up this hill, you're in this wonderful jungle area, which there's even tigers today. I'm tired. I've reached a halfway point, so I was happy with myself. All the steps are marked with this beautiful red kumkum paste. And we're walking up there. Right now, you don't see so many people, but every single day, Lord Venkateshwar actually gets 50,000 minimum people coming to see him. It took us 6 hours to get the darshan. I didn't take so many pictures when I went inside, but it's a very wonderful place. So we understand that when Lord Chaitanya went there, he took the darshan of Lord Venkateshwar, and he really just imbibed the mood there and had a very blissful time. It really is amazing to go the traditional way up the mountain by foot. It was very refreshing and very something I will remember for the rest of my life. So let's have a summary here. Lord Chaitanya's tour. So what happened? What were the main key points? Anyone want to read something out? The Brahma-Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. We understand that was very much established, that is our lineage. And wherever he went, what did he do? Hari, Hari, getting everybody to chant congregationally, Hari, Hari. He established Prema Bhakti as the ultimate goal of the Vedas, which was extraordinarily significant. And he rediscovered the Brahma Samhita. So these are just some of the reflections and glories of the South Indian tour of Lord Chaitanya. It was very extensive. I've only just touched upon it. It took him 2 years. He started in Jagannath Puri. He went down the east coast, then across, I believe, then this way and then that way, and back up to Jagannath Puri. So ending back in Jagannath Puri. I have some wonderful Mahaprasadam to share with you from both Jagannath Puri and Tirupati. I'll be handing that out after the class. And how can we understand all of this in relation to what we're doing today? So just today, what did we have? We had Kana Gopal telling us about the monthly Sankirtan festival. So we went out to Chinatown in the mood of Lord Chaitanya to spread the mercy. So in the spirit of Lord Chaitanya, brought to us by our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, we went and we did book distribution. We went into Chinatown where they were celebrating the New Year. So when we do this, look how much joy there is to have, how happy it can be. There are challenges in doing it, but we really bring it alive. We become a part of Lord Chaitanya's movement. We become servants of that, and we are then able to access that joy and bliss and that essentially the amazing mercy that Lord Chaitanya has given all of us. So Lord Chaitanya, he spread all of this extensively throughout India, inspired so many people. And then after some time, some years of it marinating, then of course our founder Acharya came to bring it to us here, and he came here to New York. We must never forget that, and our significance of how important it is that this is the first place that Srila Prabhupada came to spread Lord Chaitanya's glories. So isn't this inspiring, how our devotees and our community members went out to do this today? Please give them all a big Haribol. Haribol! Didn't quite hear that one. Let's do it a little bit louder. Haribol! All glories to Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. It really is, if anyone's ever experienced that bliss of being able to share this with someone, you begin to understand how much joy there is and how much nectar there is in doing something as simple as book distribution or joining in the Harinam Sankirtan party. So when we bring our culture alive, we take full advantage of this mercy, and we can actually understand that the golden age is here and we just need to participate in it. So, talking about participation, we have a very important year this year. This is the 60th anniversary of ISKCON. And where was ISKCON first established? In Manhattan, which is in 22nd Avenue, which is in New York, which is where we are. So we're this is our lineage. This is so important for us. And we have the honor of hosting North America's National Anniversary Festival right here in New York. So the highlight of this event is that we are going to have a very wonderful gala. We chose a really cool venue. We chose the Glass House. Some of you might know the Glass House. There are so many amazing venues here in New York, so many different kinds. We took time visiting almost all of them. And we settled on the Glass House because it enabled us to have a modern and blank canvas background to really show and define who we are today, as well as pay homage to where we came from, our humble roots, and the journey of Srila Prabhupada. Within this, we're going to showcase all of ISKCON's wonderful achievements and milestones through this very transformative journey that we've been through in the last 6 decades. We'll be featuring an exhibition, which is, of course, going to show the journey of Srila Prabhupada through the formative years for his arrival here in America, and then from the global expansion that started from this very city. Of course, we will also highlight many things there, including our international society, our thriving communities and youth initiatives, which gives us a wonderful opportunity to look towards the future and where we're going to go. Because think about it, we're 60 years old. Is that a very long time? It's a very short time, and a lot has happened. Yeah, exactly. Others may take many thousands of years. If you look back in the history, there's a lot that we've done, and there's actually a lot of structure that we've established in this short time. We're going to look at Srila Prabhupada and understand how it's the quintessential New York narrative of how an individual has arrived with very, not so much, and then in a short space of time has established one of the most influential spiritual movements of the modern era. So we get an opportunity to immerse ourselves in that journey in the first hour. Then following that, we'll be having a special dinner which will feature some of our movement's most wonderful and inspiring chefs, and entertainment from some of our most wonderful 3rd and 2nd generation devotees. We'll be having contemporary spoken word, dance, music, and artistic performances, which will be interwoven with collaborative film presentations created by some of our second and third generation. Of course, the kirtan is actually, I have the pleasure to announce this to you, the kirtan is going to be led by none other than Janavi Harrison, Grammy Award nominee. And she will be joined by some special guests who we will be announcing in the coming months. So Janavi Harrison hasn't been back here for a while, so we're really celebrating this. She has been nominated not just for Grammy Awards, but for many awards since that. So it really is wonderful that we'll be able to have her present with us. This really is going to be a defining moment festival. It isn't just a celebration, it's a milestone. Because it's within this festival that we get to associate with many of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, but also we get to see what is the future holding and what is happening now and where are we going. It's a defining moment in our history, and it's happening here in New York. So, for anyone who wants to be involved or to, this is also a ticketed event. If you want to purchase a ticket, please, you can come and see myself. I'll be sitting with Shobha Mai at the table. So, thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to you all. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I have Maha Prasadam for you all. From both Jagannath Puri and from Venkateshwara Balaji. So thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada Ki, and really looking forward to seeing you all at the Gaura Purnim Festival on Tuesday. I hope you can all make it. Hare Krishna.